And joining me in the Element Wealth studio now, the executive director of the Mississippi Forestry Association, Foresters Association. Which one?
Forestry.
Forestry. Okay, so I had it right the first time, and then I tried to correct myself and messed it up. Welcome to the show. That's how it works. Casey Anderson, how are you today?
Thanks. I'm great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Now, this is an important month, but also this time around, it's an important week as well for the forestry industry here.
That's right. It is Mississippi Forest Products Week. It has been, the governor declared that this week in October will be Forest Products Week for Mississippi, and so we're excited. We're trying to make a big splash on social media and make everyone aware of the importance of forestry in Mississippi.
Well, and I was joking with you before we came on the air. So basically, trees.
Trees. Yes.
That's what we're here for, is trees.
That's right.
But forestry is a huge industry in the state.
That's right. So it's about a $3 billion industry in our state. There's about 62,000 jobs that go along with that. So we're steadily growing. We're having each year it seems like we have more and more manufacturers announce that they want to come to Mississippi, and we think that's great. We've got plenty of trees for them to use. So,
well, and of course, and you and I were talking right before we came on the air. We've got plenty of trees to use. Some of them a little crispy right now.
That's right.
And that's why we encourage you. I'm veering off for just a second, but it's a perfect opportunity. Burn bans are still in place. Knock it off. That's the best way to put it, because this is a valuable resource for Mississippi.
It is. And you know, our Forestry Commission is doing such a great job of being the boots on the ground, putting those fires out. But I know they're tired and they're ready for a little bit of a break. So if we can refrain from burning, that would be great.
Yeah, please, that's all we're asking here. Now, you talk about it being a $3 billion industry. Is this just cutting and processing the wood? Is this manufacturing? What all is figured into that total?
So actually, I said $3 billion, but that's $3 billion in wages that are paid out. So it's actually a $13.1 billion industry in our state.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very large, and I mean, it's that everything that goes into that is, you know, the entire manufacturing process, and those jobs that also spin off from that. So it's a great industry to be in, and, you know, job security, because we have plenty of trees, like we said. Lots of trees to use and residuals that can be used at the mills. Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Well, and it's one of those things that kind of flies under the radar in Mississippi, I would think, because we're used to seeing trees everywhere. We're used to seeing log trucks everywhere. And as a result, the familiarity, we just really don't think about it.
Yeah, and you're right. You kind of hit on something that we're trying to work on in our association. We realize that a lot of us in this industry, we grew up in this world. Our parents may have been loggers, or may have been tree farmers, or their parents may have worked at a sawmill. And so those people really know what jobs are available through the industry. But we have partnered with an organization called Forestry Works to really promote some of these jobs that kids coming through high school now and looking to go to college may not know about. And especially there are some that require college degrees, but there are a lot that don't. And so getting students, making them aware of the opportunities that are available to them is something that we're working hard to do.
Well, and it's one of those things that kind of goes hand in hand with the recent push for a trade education through the community colleges and the workforce training centers and everything else. That a 4-year university degree is not the only path to success in life, that was kind of the narrative for a long time there. And everyone has now started to realize, wait a minute, that's not the case. And it's exactly what you're talking about. There are plenty of fantastic careers out there that nobody realizes is a job, much less a career sometimes, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of these jobs now, they're so especially in our mills. Our mills just look so different than they did even 15 years ago. The technology is incredible, and we're seeing that these jobs are paying really, really well too. So you don't have to go to college to make a decent living. You can do really well for yourself even by just going to trade school and getting a degree in welding or saw filing or something. There's lots of different opportunities and avenues for someone who just college may not be for them. And that's okay.
And the other good part about it to me is one of the big topics right now is artificial intelligence. Forestry is fairly AI proof. There's not a lot of artificial intelligences that are going to go out there and chop a tree down and then process it.
That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, the technology in some of these machines, we had our Mid-South Forestry Equipment Show a couple weeks ago, and every time I go out there, I'm so impressed by the machines. It's what they do is so precise. So I'm not really sure what the future holds for AI in forestry. I do think that there's probably some way that it'll be integrated, but I think that might be in like drones or something like that. But it's going to be interesting to see. But you're right; they can't go chop down a tree. I don't see these workers being replaced by AI anytime soon.
In other words, job security,
Exactly.
something a lot of people are desperately trying to find right now. So that makes it an exceptional industry. And the other thing that you mentioned, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. This industry is not going to collapse.
Right. Just like any industry, it's going to ebb and flow. And that's something that those of us who've been in the industry for a while understand that. It's like the stock market. It's high and sometimes it's not. So, I think that all of these manufacturers that are moving into our state, they do a lot of research on the front end. And we talk to people all the time about we have an abundance of trees. For every tree that we harvest, we have 2 more trees. So it's just not going away. And like you said, job security, it's a great thing.
Well, and it does ebb and flow, but look at it like this. If the forestry industry survived when everybody woke up one day and decided that wood paneling was not the way to go in your house, and they still managed to move forward, they can survive anything because everybody had that at one point.
Right.
And then it went away. But there's always a demand for the products from the forestry industry. So that makes it's got nothing but a golden future as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new markets that are coming online. We've had a rush of pellet mills that have located in our state, and we have more that are looking to be in Mississippi. And then we have this really cool product called mass timber, where they're using this to actually build tall buildings. They're doing that. We're seeing that in some of the bigger cities, but we're hoping to have some mass timber buildings in Mississippi in the next couple of years. That's something that we have a goal of in our office. But it's a new product. It's a new market for our landowners, and that's something that our landowners need is they need somewhere to send their trees and their first thinnings, and the more industry that's here can help that.
You bring up a great point. You wouldn't think about this. You think forestry industry, you think trees, wood. You don't think about advances and new products and new materials coming out of that industry because wood is wood, right? No, it's not always just wood.
Yeah.
You just named 2 different applications right there that most people wouldn't even think of.
Right, that's right. Our friends at Mississippi State Sustainable Bioproducts are doing a really good job they're doing so much research over there. Anything from termite research to mass timber. If you ever get a chance to go over there, they can show you how they destroy panels by just putting so much weight on them and making them break. It's very interesting to watch.
Wow. That is very cool. Well, it is officially Forestry Week in Mississippi in the middle of Forestry Month, right?
That's right.
So it's all about the trees.
Yep, it is.
I just want to tell you, just for the record now, I've spent a few minutes with her. Casey's bark is much, much worse than her bite. That was the only wood joke I could come up with, Casey. That's all I had.
Good one.
The bag of jokes was empty there. Casey Anderson, Executive Director of the Mississippi Forestry Association. Enjoyed it, and it keeps spreading the good word about the trees.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Anytime. We will